All right, everyone, welcome. The 10th of October. Let's start from the daily time frame. Now, the daily candles have been retracing. We're coming down. The current daily candle is kind of like, rejecting the same area we rejected day before yesterday, 2606. Looking at the 4 hour, we're basically in a consolidation area on the 4 hour. We have a support formed. At the same time, we have some sort of a resistance formed as well. Now, this is a 160 pip range. We're in the middle of a range on the 4 hour. So based on the 4 hour, we don't know whether price will continue to push up or it will continue to push down. So at the same time, we got CPI today as well. So we got to be careful with that, like, keeping that in mind. Now, as we stated yesterday during the live stream, that there's a big probability we may stay in this range, which we are so far staying in the range. Let's drop down to the 30-minute time frame. Now, looking at the 30-minute time frame, we can adjust these zones further. First of all, we have a resistance on the top over here. That's awesome. And then we're also creating some sort of a resistance at this point, 2615. And now all we got to do is we got to wait for, or like, we have to look at the 15-minute to kind of see what these wicks and this wick really mean. Is it some market structure there? Okay, so there's no market structure. There's just this resistance and also some move up and resistance over here. So I'm just going to base this off the 30-minute time frame now. So if we can get a 30-minute candle to break and close above 2615.50, I think there's a very good probability that price can continue to push up. And if you look to the left hand side from 2615 even, you're looking at about like a 33, 36 pip range for price to move into this 2619, 2020 area, 2620 area, so just a matter of fact how we kind of like, break and close above 2616, 2615 for price to move up. When we're talking about selling scenario, I want to say below 2611, but let's take a look at that as well. 20 below 2611, looking at the 15-minute time frame. You're looking at like a 30 pip range for price to move up. Now you can see the ranges are getting smaller as we move closer to the to CPI. So I'm not going to be surprised if we stay within 2615 and 2611 in this 40 pip range, because you got CPI later on, a lot of volume coming in. But other than that, if we do break below 2611.50, I think there's a very good probability we can continue down to 2608. So we'll have to wait and see. Right now, we're just in this consolidation area, which I think is going to be better to wait to see which way we break. Let's take a look at pound yen. Let's bring out pound yen over here, forex, and pound yen. There we go. We got pound yen. Kind of changed the template over here. Okay, awesome. So now it looks like pound yen is continuing to push up. Looking at the daily time frame, let's remove these period separators. Okay, cancel. Now, looking at the daily, we are sort of like, breaking above this resistance here to the left hand side. So maybe there's a probability we can fill this wick here around 195,960, which is about 57, 60 pips away. Let's take a look on the 4 hour. Looking at the 4 hour though, so that's the wick that we are basically targeting if we do continue to push up. Let's put a line right over here, like a visual representation of where we think price can continue into. At the same time, I guess, I mean, we're coming up to a resistance area. Let's take a look at that in more detail. So now looking at the 1 hour time frame, you can clearly identify that there is some sort of a resistance over here around 195, 380. And with that resistance, we have to see that, okay, at resistance, price is moving up. But where did we start to move up from? I guess we start to move up from a support, because a bullish move only happens from a support, and which was 194, 880. And this is like a 49.50 pip range. Let's take a look on the 30-minute time frame. Looking at the 30-minute in more detail, what we can identify is that the previous candle, if you look at this, the previous candle closed with no wick in the bottom. So if we close with no wick in the bottom, there's a big probability we should continue to push up on pound yen. And if we continue to push up on pound yen, this means, well, doesn't it mean that we're creating a support over here then? right? So I want you to hang on to this idea, right? So now essentially we do have a resistance up here. Do we have? Yeah, like around similar 195, 500. We have a resistance up over there, but if this 30-minute candle closes bullish, I want you to bring the zone down over here, because then we've created support in an uptrend, which will give the next candle the probability to continue to push up. But if we break below the support, then you have this range for price to move down. Does that make sense? So I want you to hang on to that idea. It's a very, very important concept, because I don't want you to get confused with, oh, we have resistance here, we can't move up. No, if we have resistance here and the current candle is creating a support like this, then this wick can be filled, But if this candle closes a weak bullish candle, then we still got this resistance over here. But if this body is bigger than this wick, then it's better. So I want you to hang on to that idea and kind of like look at it from that perspective. Okay, so we're going to see you guys later on for CPI anyway. Till then, take care.